match with you. Be match. Khanas must be match. Possible to be match. Ini matching. कौन का चूतो? It's not a mismatch.
Connected to 6B77382D. Bhagava Arahant Samma Sambuddho Sakato Yena Bhagavata Dhammo Supatipanno Yassa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Tamayang Bhagavantang Sadhammang Sasangang Ime Sakare Iyatarhanaro Pitehi Abhipujayama Sadhuno Bhanti Bhagava Suchira Parine Bhutopi Janatanukampa-manasa Ime Sakare Dugatapanakara Bhute Patiganatu Amhakam Digaratam Hitaya Sukhaya Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivadi Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami
Handmayam Buddhasya Bhagavato Pubbabhag Namakaram Karumasi
Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa
Handmayam Buddhanusatinayam Karomasi Tam
Kopana Bhagavantang Evaṁ Kalyāno Kiti Saddho Abhuggato Iti Piso Bhagava Arahant Samma Sambuddho Vijjācarana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manussanam Buddho Bhagavati
Handmayam Buddha Vigitim Karumasi Buddhavara
Amtavartadi Guna Biyuto Suddha Vijnana Karuna Isamagatato Bodhesiyo Sujanata Kamalang Vasuro
Vandamaham Kamaranam
Sirasajinendam Buddhoyo Sabbapāninam Saranam Khemamuttamam Pathamanusatiṭṭhāna Vandāmi tam Sirenam Buddhasasmi daso Buddho me sami kesaro Buddhasam niyādemi Sariram jivitam chidam Vandantoham charisami Buddhaseva subodhitam Nati me saranam anyang Saranam वरं एतेन सज्जवज्जेन वड्डेयं सत्तु शासने बुद्धं मे वन्दमानेन यं पुण्यं पसुतं यदा सब्बेऽपि
रायामि
मायेषुं तस्य तेजसा कायेन वाचा चेतसा बुद्धिं कम्मं प्रकटमय दौपटिगनाथोचे कालान्तरे संवरितं बुद्धे
खण्डमयं धम्मानुसतिनयं करोमसि स्वाखातो
भगवता धम्मो सन्दिट्ठिको अकालिको एहिपस्सिको ओपनयिको पश्चात्तं वेदितं विज्ञायते
खण्डमयं धम्माभिगीतिं करोमसि स्वाखाततादिगुणयोगवशेन
गुणयोगवशेन सेयो यो मग्गपाकपर्यतिविमोक्षभेदो तु लोकपतन तदधारि
वन्दामहं तमरं वरधम्ममेतं
धम्मो यो सर्वपाणिनं शरणं उत्तमं द्वितीयानुसतिष्ठान वन्दामि तं शिरेण धम्मस्मि दासो धम्मो मिच्छामि केशरो धम्मस्सं यादेमि शरीरं जीवितं मन्दन्तं चरिष्यामि धम्मतं नास्ति मे शरणं अन्यं संगो मे शरणं वरम् एतेन सज्जवज्जेन वड्डेयं सत्तु संगम धम्मम का संगम वन्दमानेन यं पुण्यं पसुतं यदा सब्बेऽपि अन्तरायामि माहेशुं तस्य तेजसा कायेन वाचा चेतसा धम्मेको कम्मं प्रकटमय धम्मो पटिगनाथो कालान्तरे संवरितं धम्मे
खण्डमयं सङ्घानुसतिनयं करोमसि
पन्नो भगवतो सावक संघो उजुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संघो न्यायपटिपन्नो
भगवतो
सावक संघो सामीचिपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संघो यदिदं चत्तारि पुरुष युवा अट्ठपुरुष पुंगला एष भगवतो सावक संघो आहुनेयो पाहुनेयो दक्षिणेयो अंजलिकरणीयो अनुत्तरं पुण्यक्षेत्रं लोकसाति
खण्डमयं सङ्गाभिगीतिं करोमसि सधम्मजो
सुपटिपत्तिगुणादियुतो
यो
अट्ठविदो करियपुङ्गलसङ्गसेतु शैलादिधम्मपवर सयकाय चित्तो Vandamiham tamaryanganam susuddham Sangoyo sabbapaninam saranam kemamuttamam Tatyanusatithanam Vandanitam sirenam Sangasasmi dasova Sango me sami kissaru Sangasaham niyademi
Sariran jivitanchidam
Sandantoham charissam Sangasya upatipannatam Natti me saranam
anyam
Sango saranam varam Etena sajjavajjena Vaddeyam sattu sasane Sangang me vandamanena Yam punyam pasudam veda
Sabbepi
Antarayami mahe samtasate Adantare samarito sange Khandha paritta उसमें बहुत तेज फटाफट बोलते हैं वो लोग
माने मना
देख लेते हैं हम सब
Virupukehi me metang erapatehi me chayaputehi me metang khandha gotamakehi chapatakehi me metang tipadakehi me chatupadehi me metang bahupadehi me Mamang apadako hingsi mamang hingsi dipadako mamang chadupado hingsi mamang hingsi bahupado sabe sada sabe pana sabe buddha chakewala sabe patrani pasantu kinchi papamagama apamano buddho apamano dhammo apamano sangho pamanavantami siring sapani ahivichika satapadi unanapi sarabhumusika katame raka katame paritta patikamantu bhutani sohang namo bhagavato namo satana samma sambuddhana
हाई स्पीड में पढ़ते हैं तेज पढ़ना आज हम अजान चा का वही प्रवचन दोबारा सुनेंगे जो कल सुना था क्यों कल बीच में डिस्टर्बेंस हो गई थी काफ़ी टुवर्ड्स द अनकंडीशन्ड उसका टाइटल है
35th talk in this collection, and it's entitled Toward the Unconditioned. And this was originally given in 1976 on a lunar observance day at Wat Pah Pong, Ajahn Chah's monastery, and it was first published in the book Living Dhamma. So this was also translated by Bruce Evans. Toward the Unconditioned. Today is the day on which we Buddhists come together to observe the Uposatha precepts and to listen to the Dhamma, as is our custom. The point of listening to the Dhamma is, firstly, to create some understanding of the things we don't yet understand, to clarify them, and, secondly, to improve our grasp of things that we understand already. We must rely on Dhamma talks to improve our understanding, and listening is the crucial factor. For today's talk, please pay special attention. First of all, straighten up your posture to make it suitable for listening. Don't be too tense. Now, all that remains is to establish your minds, making your minds firm in samadhi. The mind is the important ingredient. The mind is that which perceives good and evil, right and wrong. If we are lacking in sati for even 1 minute, we are crazy for that minute. If we are lacking in sati for half an hour, we'll be crazy for half an hour. However much our mind is lacking in sati, that's how crazy we are. That's why it's especially important to pay attention when listening to the Dhamma. All creatures in this world are plagued by nothing other than suffering. There's only suffering disturbing the mind. The purpose of studying the Dhamma is to utterly destroy this suffering. If suffering arises, it's because we don't really know it. No matter how much we try to control it through willpower or through wealth and possessions, it's impossible. If we don't thoroughly understand suffering and its cause, no matter how much we try to trade it off with our deeds, thoughts or worldly riches, there's no way we can get rid of it. Only through clear knowledge and awareness, through knowing the truth of it, can suffering disappear. And this applies not only to homeless ones, the monks and novices, but also to householders. For anybody who knows the truth of things, suffering automatically ceases. The states of good and evil are constant truths. Dhamma means that which is constant, which maintains itself. Turmoil maintains its turmoil. Serenity maintains its serenity. Good and evil maintain their respective conditions. Like hot water, it maintains its hotness. It doesn't change for anybody. Whether a young person or an old person drinks it, it's hot. It's hot for every nationality of people. So Dhamma is defined as that which maintains its condition. In our practice, we must know heat and coolness, right and wrong, good and evil. Knowing evil, for example, will not create the causes for evil, and evil will not arise. Dhamma practitioners should know the source of the various Dhammas. By quelling the cause of heat, heat cannot arise. The same with evil. It arises from a cause. If we practice the Dhamma till we know the Dhamma, we will know the source of things, their causes. If we extinguish the cause of evil, evil is also extinguished. We don't have to go running after evil to put it out. This is the practice of Dhamma. But many study the Dhamma, learn it, even practice it, but are not yet with the Dhamma, and have not yet quenched the cause of evil and turmoil within their own hearts. As long as the cause of heat is still present, we can't possibly prevent heat from being there. In the same way, as long as the cause of confusion is within our minds, we cannot possibly prevent confusion from being there, because it arises from this source. As soon as the source is not quenched, confusion will arise again. Whenever we create good actions, goodness arises in the mind. It arises from its cause. This is called kusala, or wholesome, skillful, good, meritorious actions. If we understand causes in this way, we can create those causes and the results will naturally follow. But people don't usually create the right causes. They want goodness so much, and yet they don't work to bring it about. All they get are bad results, embroiling the mind in suffering. All people want these days is money. They think that if they just get enough money, everything will be all right. So they spend their time looking for money. They don't look for goodness. This is like wanting meat, but not wanting salt to preserve it. You just leave the meat around the house to rot. Those who want money should know not only how to find it, but also how to look after it. If you want meat, you can't expect to buy it and then just leave it laying around in the house. It'll just go rotten. This kind of thinking is wrong. The result of wrong thinking is turmoil and confusion. The Buddha taught the Dhamma so that people would put it into practice in order to know it and see it, and to be one with it, to make the mind Dhamma. When the mind is Dhamma, it will attain happiness and contentment. The restlessness of samsara is in this world, and the cessation of suffering is also in this world. The practice of Dhamma is therefore for leading the mind to the transcendence of suffering. The body can't transcend suffering. Having been born, it must experience pain and sickness, aging and death. Only the mind can transcend clinging and grasping. All the teachings of the Buddha, which we call paritta, or the theoretical understanding of Dhamma, these are a skillful means to this end. For instance, the Buddha taught about upadinaka sankhara and anupadinaka sankhara, mind-attended conditions and non-mind-attended conditions. Non-mind-attended conditions are usually defined as such things as trees, mountains, rivers, and so on, inanimate things. Mind-attended conditions are defined as animate things, like animals, human beings, and so on. Most students of Dhamma take this definition for granted, but if you consider the matter deeply, how the human mind gets so caught up in sights, sounds, smells, tastes, feelings, and mental states, you might see that really there isn't anything which is not mind-attended. As long as there is craving in the mind, everything becomes mind-attended. Studying the Dhamma without practicing it, we will be unaware of its deeper meanings. For instance, we might think that the pillars of this meeting hall, the tables, benches, and all inanimate things are not mind-attended. We only look at one side of things, but try getting a hammer and smashing some of these things, and you'll see whether they're mind-attended or not. It's our own mind, clinging to the tables, chairs, and all of our possessions, which attends these things. Even when one little cup breaks, it hurts. Because our mind is attending that cup. Whatever we feel to be ours, trees, mountains, or whatever, they have a mind attending them. If not their own, then someone else's. These are all mind-attended conditions, not non-mind-attended. It's the same for our body. Normally we would say that the body is mind-attended. The mind, which attends the body, is none other than upadana, clinging, latching onto the body and clinging to it as being me and mine. Just as a blind man cannot conceive of colours, no matter where he looks, no colours can be seen, just so for the mind, blocked by craving and delusion. All objects of consciousness become mind-attended. For the mind, tainted with craving and obstructed by delusion, everything becomes mind-attended. Tables, chairs, animals, everything else. If we understand that there is an intrinsic self, the mind attaches to everything. All of nature becomes mind-attended. There is always clinging and attachment. The Buddha talked about sankata dhammas and asankata dhammas, conditioned and unconditioned things. Conditioned things are innumerable, material or immaterial, big or small. If our mind is under the influence of delusion, it will proliferate about these things, dividing them up into good and bad, short and long, coarse and refined. Why does the mind proliferate like this? Because it doesn't know determined reality, samuti satcha, conventional, dualistic and nominal reality. It doesn't see the Dhamma. Not seeing the Dhamma, the mind is full of clinging. As long as the mind is held down by clinging, there can be no escape. There is confusion, birth, old age, sickness and death, even in the thinking processes. This kind of mind is called the sankata dhamma, or conditioned mind. Asankata dhamma, the unconditioned, refers to the mind which has seen Dhamma, the truth of the five khandhas as they are, as transient, imperfect and ownerless. All ideas of me and them, mine and theirs, belong to the determined reality. Really, they're all just conditions. When we know the truth of conditions as neither ourselves or belonging to us, we let go of conditions and the determined. When we let go of conditions, we attain the Dhamma. We enter into and realize the Dhamma. When we attain the Dhamma, we know clearly. What do we know? We know that there are only conditions and determinations, no being, no self, no us nor them. This is knowledge of the way things are. Seeing in this way, the mind transcends things. The body may grow old, get sick and die, but the mind transcends this state. When the mind transcends conditions, it knows the unconditioned. The mind becomes the unconditioned. the state which no longer contains conditioning factors. The mind is no longer conditioned by the concerns of the world. Conditions no longer contaminate the mind. Pleasure and pain no longer affect it. Nothing can affect the mind or change it. The mind is assured. It has escaped all constructions. Seeing the true nature of conditions and the determined, the mind becomes free. This freed mind is called the unconditioned, that which is beyond the power of constructing influences. If the mind doesn't really know conditions and determinations, it's moved by them. Encountering good, bad, pleasure or pain, it proliferates about them. Why does it proliferate? Because there's still a cause. What's the cause? The cause is the understanding that the body is oneself, or belongs to the self, that feelings are self, or belonging to a self, that perception is self, or belonging to self, that conceptual thought is self, or belonging to self, that consciousness is self, or belonging to self. The tendency to conceive things in terms of self is the source of happiness, suffering, birth, old age, sickness and death. This is the worldly mind spinning around and changing. This is the worldly mind spinning around and changing at the directives of worldly conditions. This is the conditioned mind. If we receive some windfall, our mind is conditioned by it. That object influences our mind into a feeling of pleasure. But when it disappears, our mind is conditioned by it into suffering. The mind becomes a slave of conditions, a slave of desire. No matter what the world presents to it, the mind is moved accordingly. This mind has no refuge. It's not yet assured of itself, not yet free. It's still lacking a firm base. This mind doesn't yet know the truth of conditions. Such is the conditioned mind. All of you listening to the Dhamma here, reflect for a while. Even a child can make you angry, isn't that so? Even a child can trick you. He could trick you into crying, laughing. He could trick you into all sorts of things. Even old people get duped by these things. The mind of a deluded person who doesn't know the truth of conditions is always being shaped into countless reactions, such as love, hate, pleasure and pain. They shape our minds like this because we're enslaved by them. We're slaves of tanha, craving. Craving gives all the orders, and we simply obey. I hear people complaining, "Oh, I'm so miserable. Night and day I have to go to the fields, I have no time at home. In the middle of the day I have to work in the hot sun with no shade. No matter how cold it is, I can't stay at home. I have to go to work. I'm so oppressed." If I ask them, "Why don't you just leave home and become a monk?" They say, "I can't leave. I have responsibilities." Tanha pulls them back. Sometimes when you're doing the ploughing, you might be bursting to urinate so much that you have to do it while you're ploughing, just like the buffaloes. This is how much craving enslaves them. When I ask, "How are you going? Haven't you got time to come to the monastery?" They say, "Oh, I'm really in deep." I don't know what it is that they're stuck in so deeply. These are just conditions, concoctions. The Buddha taught to see appearances as such, to see conditions as they are. This is seeing the Dhamma, seeing things as they really are. If you really see these two things, you must throw them out, let them go. No matter what you may receive, it has no real substance. At first it may seem good, but it will eventually go bad. It'll make you love and make you hate, make you laugh and cry, make you go whichever way it pulls you. Why is this? Because the mind is undeveloped. Conditions become conditioning factors of the mind, making it big and small, happy and sad. In the time of our forefathers, when a person died, they'd invite the monks to go and recite the recollections on impermanence. Anicca vata sankhara, impermanent are all conditioned things. Upadavaya dhammino, of the nature to arise and pass away. Uppajitava niruchanti, having been born, they must all perish. Te sang upasamo sukho, the cessation of conditions is true happiness. All conditions are impermanent. The body and the mind are both impermanent. They're impermanent because they do not remain fixed and unchanging. All things that are born must necessarily change. They're transient, especially our body. What is there that doesn't change within this body? Are hair, nails, teeth and skin still the same as they used to be? The condition of the body is constantly changing, so it's impermanent. Is the body stable? Is the mind stable? Think about it. How many times is there arising and ceasing, even in one day? Both body and mind are constantly arising and ceasing. Conditions are in a state of constant turmoil. The reason you can't see these things in line with the truth is because you keep believing the untrue. It's like being guided by a blind man. How can you travel in safety? A blind man will only lead you into forests and thickets. How could he lead you into safety when he can't see? In the same way, our mind is deluded by conditions, creating suffering in the search for happiness, creating difficulty in the search for ease. Such a mind only makes for difficulty and suffering. Really, we want to get rid of suffering and difficulty, but instead we create those very things. All we can do is complain. We create bad causes, and the reason we do is because we don't know the truth of appearances and conditions. Conditions are impermanent, both the mind-attended and the non-mind-attended ones. In practice, the non-mind-attended conditions are non-existent. What is there that is non-mind-attended? Even your own toilet, which you think would be non-mind-attended, try letting someone smash it with a sledgehammer. You'd probably have to contend with the authorities. The mind attends to everything, even feces and urine. Except for the person who sees clearly the way things are, there are no such things as non-mind-attended conditions. Appearances are determined into existence. Why must we determine them? Because they don't intrinsically exist. For example, suppose somebody wanted to make a marker. You take a piece of wood or a rock and place it on the ground. Then call it a marker. Actually, it's not a marker. There isn't any marker. That's why you must determine it into existence. In the same way, we determine cities, people, cattle, everything. Why must we determine these things? Because originally they don't exist. Concepts such as monk and layperson are also determinations. We determine these things into existence because intrinsically they aren't here. It's just like having an empty dish. You can put anything you like into it because it's empty. This is the nature of determined reality. Men and women are simply determined concepts, as are all the things around us. If we know the truth of determinations clearly, we'll know that there are no beings, because beings are determined things. Understanding that these things are simply determinations, you can be at peace. But if you believe that the person, being, the mind, the theirs, and so on, are intrinsic qualities, then you must laugh and cry over them. These are the proliferations of conditioning factors. If we take such things to be ours, there will always be suffering. This is miccha ditthi, wrong view. Names are not intrinsic realities. They are provisional truths. Only after we're born do we obtain names. Isn't that so? Or did you have your name already when you were born? The name usually comes afterwards, right? Why must we determine these names? Because intrinsically they aren't there. We should clearly understand these determinations. Good, evil, high, low, black and white are all determinations. We're all lost in determinations. This is why at the funeral ceremonies the monks chant Anicca Sankhara. Conditions are impermanent. They arise and pass away. That's the truth. What is there that, having arisen, doesn't cease? Good moods arise and then cease. Have you ever seen anybody cry for 3 or 4 years? At the most, you may see people cry a whole night, and then the tears dry up. Having arisen, they cease. Te sang upasamo sukho. If we understand sankharas, proliferations, and thereby subdue them, this is the greatest happiness. To be calmed of proliferations, calmed of being, calmed of individuality, of the burden of self, is true merit. Transcending these things, one sees the unconditioned. This means that no matter what happens, the mind doesn't proliferate around it. There's nothing that can throw the mind off its natural balance. What else could you want? This is the end, the finish. The Buddha taught the way things are. Our making offerings and listening to Dhamma talks and so on is in order to search for and realize this. If we realize this, we don't have to go and study vipassana. It'll happen of itself. Both samatha and vipassana are determined into being, just like other determinations. The mind which knows, which is beyond such things, is the culmination of the practice. Our practice, our inquiry, is in order to transcend suffering. When clinging is finished with, states of being are finished with. When states of being are finished with, there is no more death or birth. When things are going well, the mind does not rejoice. When things are going badly, the mind does not grieve. The mind is not dragged all over the place by the tribulations of the world, and so the practice is finished. This is the basic principle for which the Buddha gave the teaching. The Buddha taught the Dhamma for use in our own lives. Even when we die, there is the teaching, Te Sangupasamo Sukho. But we don't subdue these conditions. We only carry them around, as if the monks were telling us to do so. We carry them around and cry over them. This is getting lost in conditions. Heaven, hell, and Nibbana are all to be found at this point. Practicing the Dhamma is in order to transcend suffering in the mind. If we know the truth of things as I have explained here, we'll automatically know the Four Noble Truths: suffering, the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the way leading to the cessation of suffering. People are generally ignorant when it comes to determinations. They think they exist all of themselves. When the books tell us that the trees, mountains, and rivers are non-mind-attended conditions, this is simplifying things. This is just the superficial teaching. There's no reference to suffering as if there was no suffering in the world. This is just the shell of the Dhamma. If we were to explain things in terms of ultimate truth, we would see that it's people who go and tie all these things down with their attachments. How can you say that things have no power to shape events, that they're not mind-attended, when people will beat up their children even over a tiny needle, or a single plate, or a cup, or a plank of wood? The mind attends all these things. Just watch what happens if someone goes and smashes one of them up, and you'll find out. Everything is capable of influencing us in this way. Knowing these things fully is our practice. Examining those things which are conditioned, unconditioned, mind-attended, and non-mind-attended. This is part of the external teaching, as the Buddha once referred to them. At one time the Buddha was staying in a forest. Taking a handful of leaves, he asked the bhikkhus, "Bhikkhus, which is greater in number, the leaves which I hold in my hand, or the leaves scattered on the forest floor?" The bhikkhus answered, "The leaves in the Blessed One's hand are few. The leaves scattered around the forest floor are by far the greater number." In the same way, bhikkhus, the whole of the Buddha's teaching is vast. But these are not the essence of things. They're not directly related to the way out of suffering. There are so many aspects of the teaching, but what the Tathagata really wants you to do is to transcend suffering, to inquire into things and to abandon clinging and attachment to form, feeling, perception, volition, and consciousness. Stop clinging to these things and you'll transcend suffering. These teachings are like the leaves in the Buddha's hand. You don't need so much. Just a little is enough. As for the rest of the teaching, you need over it. It's just like the vast earth, abundant with grasses, soil, mountains, forests. There's no shortage of rocks and pebbles, but all those rocks are not as valuable as one single jewel. The Dhamma of the Buddha is like this. You don't need a lot. So whether you're talking about the Dhamma or listening to it, you should know the Dhamma. You needn't wonder where the Dhamma is. It's right here. No matter where you go to study the Dhamma, it is really in the mind. The mind is the one who clings, the mind is the one who speculates, the mind is the one who transcends, who lets go. All this external study is really about the mind. No matter if you study the Tipitaka, the Abhidhamma, or whatever, don't forget where it came from. When it comes to the practice, the only things you really need to make a start are honesty and integrity. You don't need to make a lot of trouble for yourself. None of you lay people have studied the Tipitaka, but you're still capable of greed, anger, and delusion, aren't you? Where did you learn about these things from? Did you have to read the Tipitaka or the Abhidhamma to have greed, hatred, and delusion? Those things are already there in your mind. You don't have to study books to have them. But the teachings are for inquiring into and abandoning these things. Let the knowing spread from within you, and you will be practicing rightly. If you want to see a train, just go to the central station. You don't have to go travelling all the way up to the northern line, the southern line, the eastern line, and the western line to see all the trains. If you want to see trains, every single one of them, You'd be better off waiting at Grand Central Station. That's where they all terminate. Now some people tell me, I want to practice, but I don't know how. I'm not up to studying the scriptures. I'm getting old now. My memory's not good. Just look right here, at Central Station. Greed arises here. Anger arises here. Delusion arises here. Just sit here, and you can watch as all these things arise. Practice right here, because right here is where you're stuck. Right here is where the determined arises, where conventions arise, and right here is where the Dhamma will arise. Therefore, the practice of Dhamma doesn't distinguish between class or race. All it asks is that we look into, see, and understand. But first we train the body and speech to be free of taints, which is sila. Some people think that to have sila, you must memorize Pali phrases and chant all day and all night. But really, all you have to do is make your body and speech blameless. And that's sila. It's not so difficult to understand. Just like cooking food. Put in a little bit of this and a little bit of that, till it's just right. And it's delicious. You don't have to add anything else to make it delicious. It's delicious already, if you only add the right ingredients. In the same way, taking care that our actions and speech are proper will give us sila. Dhamma practice can be done anywhere. In the past, I travelled all over looking for a teacher because I didn't know how to practice. I was always afraid that I was practicing wrongly. I'd be constantly going from one mountain to another, from one place to another, till I stopped and reflected on it. Now I understand. In the past, I must have been quite stupid. I went all over the place, looking for places to practice meditation. I didn't realize it was already here, in my heart. All the meditation you want is right there inside you. There's birth, old age, sickness and death, right here within you. That's why the Buddha said, Pachatang veditabo vinyuhi, the wise must know for themselves. I'd said the words before, but I still didn't know their meaning. I travelled all over looking for it until I was ready to drop dead from exhaustion. Only then, when I stopped, did I find what I was looking for inside me. So now I can tell you about it. So in your practice of sila, just practice as I've explained here. Don't doubt the practice. Even though some people may say you can't practice at home, there are too many obstacles there. If that's the case, then even eating and drinking are going to be obstacles. If these things are obstacles to practice, then don't eat. If you stand on a thorn, is that good? Isn't not standing on a thorn better? Dharma practice brings benefit to all people, irrespective of class. No matter how much you practice, that's how much you'll know the truth. Some people say they can't practice as a layperson. The environment is too crowded. If you live in a crowded place, then look into crowdedness. Make it open and wide. The mind has been deluded by crowdedness. Train it to know the truth of crowdedness. The more you neglect the practice, the more you neglect going to the monastery and listening to the teaching, the more your mind will sink down into the bog, like a frog going into a hole. Someone comes along with a hook and the frog's done for. He doesn't have a chance. All he can do is stretch out his neck and offer it to them. So watch out that you don't work yourself into a tiny corner. Someone may just come along with a hook and scoop you up. At home, being pestered by your children and grandchildren, you're even worse off than the frog. You don't know how to detach from these things. When old age, sickness and death come along, what will you do? This is the hook that's going to get you. Which way will you turn? This is the predicament our minds are in, engrossed in the children, the relatives, the possessions, and you don't know how to let them go. Without morality or understanding to free things up, there's no way out for you. When feeling, perception, volition and consciousness produce suffering, you always get caught up in it. Why is there this suffering? If you don't investigate, you won't know. If happiness arises, you simply get caught up in happiness, delighting in it. You don't ask yourself, where does this happiness come from? So, change your understanding. You can practice anywhere because the mind is with you everywhere. If you think good thoughts while sitting, you can be aware of them. If you think bad thoughts, you can be aware of them also. These things are with you. While lying down, if you think good thoughts or bad thoughts, you can know them also, because the place to practice is in the mind. Some people think you have to go to the monastery every single day, but that's not necessary. Just look at your own mind. If you know where the practice is, you'll be assured. The Buddha's teaching tells us to watch ourselves, not to run after fads and superstitions. That's why he said, Silena sugating yanti, moral rectitude leads to well-being. Silena bhoga sampada, moral rectitude leads to wealth. Silena niputing yanti, moral rectitude leads to nibbana. Tasma silang visotaye. Therefore, maintain your precepts purely. Sila refers to our actions. Good actions bring good results. Bad actions bring bad results. Don't expect the gods to do things for you, or the angels and guardian deities to protect you, or the auspicious days to help you. These things aren't true. Don't believe in them. If you believe in them, you'll suffer. You'll always be waiting for the right day, the right month, the right year, the angels and the guardian deities. You'll suffer that way. Look into your own actions and speech, into your own karma. Doing good, you inherit goodness. Doing bad, you inherit badness. If you understand that good and bad, right and wrong all lie within you, then you won't have to go looking for those things somewhere else. Just look for these things where they arise. If you lose something here, you must look for it here. Even if you don't find it at first, keep looking where you dropped it. But usually, we lose it here and then go looking over there. When will you ever find it? Good and bad actions lie within you. One day you're bound to see it. Just keep looking right there. All beings fare according to their karma. What is karma? People are too gullible. If you do bad actions, they say, Yama, the king of the underworld, will write it all down in a book. When you go there, he takes up his accounts and looks you up. You're all afraid of the Yama in the afterlife, but you don't know the Yama within your own minds. If you do bad actions, even if you sneak off and do it by yourself, this Yama will write it all down. There are probably many among you sitting here who have secretly done bad things, not letting anyone else see. But you see it, don't you? This Yama sees it all. Can you see it for yourself? All of you, think for a while. Yama has written it all down, hasn't he? There's no way you can escape it. Whether you do it alone or in a group, in a field or wherever. Is there anybody here who has ever stolen something? There are probably a few of us who are ex-thieves. Even if you don't steal other people's things, you may steal your own. I myself have that tendency. That's why I reckon some of you may be the same. Maybe you've secretly done bad things in the past, not letting anyone else know about it. But even if you don't tell anyone else about it, you must know about it. This is the Yama who watches over you and writes it all down. Wherever you go, he writes it all down in his account book. We know our own intention. When you do bad actions, badness is there. If you do good actions, goodness is there. There's nowhere you can go to hide. Even if others don't see you, you must see yourself. Even if you go into a deep hole, you'll still find yourself there. There's no way you can commit bad actions and get away with it. In the same way, why shouldn't you see your own purity? See it all, the peaceful, the agitated, the liberation or the bondage. See all these for yourselves. In this Buddhist religion, you must be aware of all your actions. We don't act like the Brahmins who go into your house and say, "May you be well and strong, may you live long." The Buddha doesn't talk like that. How will the disease go away with just talk? The Buddha's way of treating the sick was to say, before you were sick, what happened? What led up to your sickness? Then you tell him how it came about. Oh, it's like that, is it? Take this medicine and try it out. If it's not the right medicine, he tries another one. If it's right for the illness, then that's the right one. This way is scientifically sound. As for the Brahmins, they just tie a string around your wrist and say, "Okay, be well and strong. When I leave this place, you just get right up and eat a hearty meal and be well." No matter how much you pay them, your illness won't go away, because their way has no scientific basis. But this is what people like to believe. The Buddha didn't want us to put too much store into these kind of things. He wanted us to practice with reason. Buddhism has been around for thousands of years now, but most people have continued to practice as their teachers have taught them, regardless of whether it's right or wrong. That's stupid. They simply follow the example of their forebears. The Buddha didn't encourage this sort of thing. He wanted us to do things with reason. For example, at one time when he was teaching the monks, he asked Venerable Sariputta, "Sariputta, do you believe this teaching?" Venerable Sariputta replied, "I don't believe it yet." Buddha praised his answer. "Very good, Sariputta. A wise person doesn't believe too readily. He looks into things, into their causes and conditions, and sees their true nature before believing or disbelieving." But most teachers these days would say, "What? You don't believe me? Get out of here." Most people are afraid of their teachers. Whatever their teachers do, they just blindly follow. The Buddha taught to adhere to the truth, listen to the teaching, and then consider it intelligently. Inquire into it. It's the same with my Dhamma talks. Go and consider it. Is what I say right? Really look into it. Look within yourself. So it's said to guard your mind. Whoever guards their mind will free himself from the shackles of Mara. It's just this mind which goes and grabs onto things, knows things, sees things, experiences happiness and suffering. Just this very mind. When we fully know the truth of determinations and conditions, we will naturally throw off suffering. All things are just as they are. They don't cause suffering in themselves. Just like a thorn, a really sharp thorn. Does it make you suffer? No. It's just a thorn. It doesn't bother anybody. But if you go and stand on it, then you'll suffer. Why is there this suffering? Because you stepped on the thorn. The thorn is just minding its own business. It doesn't harm anybody. Only if you step on the thorn will you suffer over it. It's because of ourselves that there's pain. Form, feeling, perception, volition, consciousness, all things in this world are simply there as they are. It's us who picks fights with them. And if we hit them, they're going to hit us back. If they're left on their own, they won't bother anybody. Only the swaggering drunkard gives them trouble. All conditions fare according to their nature. That's why the Buddha said, Te sang vupasamo sukho. If we subdue conditions, seeing determinations and conditions as they really are, as neither me or mine, us nor them, when we see that these beliefs are simply sakkaya ditthi, self-view, the conditions are freed of the self-delusion. If you think, I am good, I am bad, I am great, I am the best, then you're thinking wrongly. If you see all these thoughts as merely determinations and conditions, then, when others say good or bad, you can leave it be with them. As long as you still see it as me and you, it's like having 3 hornets' nests. As soon as you say something, the hornets come buzzing out and sting you. The 3 hornets' nests are sakkaya ditthi, vicikiccha, and silapata paramasa. These are the 3 factors of the first 3 sangyojanas that form the fetters to and hinder entry into the stream. Once you look into the true nature of determinations and conditions, pride cannot prevail. Other people's fathers are just like our father. Their mothers are just like ours. Their children are just like ours. We see the happiness and suffering of other beings as just like ours. If we can see in this way, we can come face to face with the future Buddha. It's not so difficult. Everyone is in the same boat. Then the world will be as smooth as a drum skin. If you want to wait around to meet Sri Arya Maitreya, the future Buddha, then just don't practice. You'll probably be around long enough to see him. But he's not crazy that he'd take people like that for disciples. Most people just doubt. If you no longer doubt about the self, then no matter what people may say about you, you aren't concerned. Because your mind is let go. It's at peace. Conditions become subdued. Grasping after the forms of practice, the teacher is bad, that place is no good, this is right, that's wrong. No. There's none of these things. All this kind of thinking is all smoothed over. You come face to face with the future Buddha. Those who only hold up their hands and pray will never get there. So, this is the practice. If I talked any more, it would just be more of the same. Another talk will be just the same as this. I brought you this far, now you think about it. I brought you to the path. Whoever's going to go, it's there for you. Those who aren't going can stay. The Buddha only sees you to the beginning of the path. Akkataro Tathagata. The Tathagata only points the way. For my practice, he only taught this much. The rest was up to me. Now I teach you. I can tell you this much. I can bring you only to the beginning of the path. Whoever wants to go back can go back. Whoever wants to travel on can travel on. It's up to you now.
अब इसका इस देसना का हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन करते हैं थोड़ा विस्तार से। कल मैंने बिल्कुल संक्षेप में किया था। तो ये उपवास डे पे दी गई थी टॉक, जबकि फुल नाइट का साधना होती है सारी रात की। और टीचिंग्स होती हैं। जो एबर्ट हैं बहुत प्रवचन देते हैं, तो बता रहे थे कि आप क्यों धर्म की शिक्षा को क्यों सुनना चाहिए, ताकि इससे हमारी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़े। तो इसलिए बहुत ज़रूरी है कि शिक्षा को ध्यान से सुना जाए, एक तरह की मन को समाधि में स्थापित करके माइंडफुल लिसनिंग की जाए। तो उसके लिए उन्होंने कहा कि अपने पोस्चर वगैरह भी ठीक होना चाहिए। तो मन जो है स्थिर रहे और इधर उधर भटके ना। अगर मन सजग रहता है, नहीं 1 मिनट के लिए सजग नहीं रहता, तो इसका मतलब 1 मिनट के लिए क्रेजी हो गया। 30 मिनट सजग नहीं रहता है, तो इसका 30 मिनट के लिए वो पगला गया है। तो इस तरह से हमको समझना चाहिए कि सती का कितना महत्व है। धर्म सुनते समय इसलिए बहुत स्पेशल ध्यान देना चाहिए, सजग होके। क्योंकि भगवान की जो शिक्षा का मूल उद्देश्य था कि सभी लोग प्राणी जो हैं दुख से घिरे हुए हैं, तो किस तरह से उस दुख से मुक्ति पाई जाए, ये मुख्य बात है। और उसका तरीका यही है कि जो सत्य है उसको ठीक से देख पाएँ। हम ठीक से देख नहीं पाते, तो किसी और तरह से भी सोचेंगे कि हम पैसा कमा लें, पैसा इकट्ठा हो जाएगा तो फिर बीमारी नहीं होगी, दुख नहीं आएंगे। तो ये सब पॉसिबल नहीं है। दुख की मुक्ति सत्य को जानने के बाद ही हो सकती है, और ये सबके लिए वैलिड है, चाहे वो भिक्षु हो चाहे गृहस्थ हो। फिर बात की उन्होंने धर्म किसको कहते हैं। उनका धर्म वो है जो अपने स्वभाव में रहता है हमेशा। जैसे गर्म पानी है, उसका स्वभाव है कि वो हमेशा गर्म ही रहेगा, चाहे कोई भी पी ले। बेचैनी है, उसका स्वभाव है कि बेचैनी करेगा। कोई भी बेचैन हो तो बेचैनी ऐसी होगी सबके लिए। सबके लिए चित्त की शुद्ध शांति है, तो शांति भी एक जैसी है। वो इस पर नहीं निर्भर करती कि वो जिसके साथ जिसकी वो मन स्थिति है, वो पुरुष है कि महिला है कि किस देश का है, उससे कोई उसका मतलब नहीं है। तो हमें एक बात ये भी जाननी चाहिए कि क्या उचित है, क्या गलत है, क्या ठीक है, क्या सही है। तो कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा। इसीलिए कहते हैं कि प्रवचन सुनेंगे, कई सारे भगवान की वाणी सुनेंगे, तो सब थोड़ा बहुत बैकग्राउंड बनेगा और ये बात समझ में आने लगेगी कि कोई भी जो अकुशल चित्त की चेतना है, कुछ भी कोई भी चित्त की चेतना जागती है तो उसके पीछे कोई कारण होता है, और अगर उस कारण को हम समाप्त कर दें तो वो चेतना समाप्त हो। उस तरह की चेतसिक जो है मन की जो धारणा है वो समाप्त हो जाएगी। अगर दुख का कारण को हम शांत कर दें तो चित्त दुख से मुक्त हो जाएगा। दिक्कत ये होती है कि लोग चाहते तो सुख हैं, लेकिन जो कंडीशंस क्रिएट करते हैं वो दुख के लिए, और फिर परेशान होते हैं। तो सुख और दुख चाहने से नहीं आएगा, उनके लिए जो आवश्यक कंडीशंस है उसको उनके प्रकट होने की वो बनाएंगे तो आएगा। आजकल लोग इतना ज़्यादा पैसे के पीछे हैं कि उनको लगता है कि अगर पैसा होगा तो सब चीज़ें सुधर जाएंगी। ऐसा संभव नहीं है। हाँ, ये जो बेचैनी है, दुख है, वो इस संसार में है, और उस दुख से मुक्ति भी इसी संसार में है। अब ये बात हमें समझनी पड़ेगी कि जो शरीर है वो दुख से ऊपर, शारीरिक दुख से ऊपर नहीं उठ सकता। शरीर में कष्ट होगा तो शरीर महसूस करेगा ही, लेकिन जो मन है वो ट्रांसेंड कर सकता है। मन की जो अप्रिय परिस्थिति है उसको ट्रांसेंड कर सकता है, दुख से मुक्त हो सकता है। और इसलिए कहते हैं कि परियत्ति जो है, जो पढ़ाई करना है साधना के बारे में, धर्म के बारे में, वो एक कुशल उपाय है इस उद्देश्य के लिए। फिर उन्होंने कुछ उदाहरण दिए जो त्रिपिटक में, जिनका अलग अलग व्याख्या किया जाता है। जैसे कहा उपाधि नेक धम्म और अनुपाधि से का धम्म। तो एक ऐसा धम्म जो कि ऐसे मन, जो ऐसी चीज़ें जो कि मन से रिलेटेड हैं, जैसी चीज़ें जिनका कोई मन नहीं है, पेड़ पौधे, पत्थर, पहाड़, जो इनएनिमेट ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं, जो जड़ हैं, उनके लिए कहा गया कि वो मन से उनका कोई संबंध नहीं है। तो जान कहने लगे कि वो एक परिप्रेक्ष्य, अलग परिप्रेक्ष्य में है, लेकिन असर वास्तव में अभी देखें तो कोई ऐसी चीज़ नहीं है जिसका मन से संबंध ना हो। एक कप पड़ा था वहाँ पे, तो कहते हैं अगर ये कप कभी टूट जाए तो पता चल जाएगा कितना मन से हमारा संबंध है। शरीर से मन का ये जड़ वस्तुओं से संबंध है। ये टेबल यहाँ पड़ी है, अगर वो कह रहे थे टेबल को तो तोड़ ले तो हमको अच्छा लगेगा क्या? तो वो भी, इसका मतलब वो टेबल का भी हमारे मन पे असर पड़ता है। तो इसलिए जिसका मन अभी राग द्वेष से पूरी तरह मुक्त नहीं हुआ है, उसके लिए हर चीज़ माइंड अटेंडेड है, मतलब हर चीज़ का मन के ऊपर असर पड़ेगा। तो जो संखत धम्मा है और असंखत धम्मा की बात चर्चा आती है, जैसे में प्रवचनों में, तो संखत धम्मा का मतलब जो कंडीशन अराइजिंग है, जिनकी कंडीशंस हैं उससे पैदा होते हैं, उनका तो इन्यूमरेबल है। अलग हज़ारों तरह की कंडीशंस हो सकती हैं और हज़ारों तरह की चीज़ें पैदा हो सकती हैं। जबकि असंखत धम्मा का मतलब है जो अनकंडीशनड है, जो निर्वाण है। और जब हम इस धर्म को ठीक से देखते नहीं हैं, इन दोनों, इस बात को समझते नहीं है, कोई ये असंखत धम्मा है, ये संखत धम्मा है, तो फिर कन्फ्यूजन आता है, और कन्फ्यूजन के कारण जाति, जरा, मरणम, शोक, पर्दे वो चलता है। जो मन ठीक से देखता है क्या हो रहा है, 5 खंधों को पहचान जाता है और समझता है कि ये अनित्य हैं, दुख हैं, अनात्मा है, तो फिर चित्त उसका कंपायमान नहीं होता। तो जब हम धम्मानुपासना करते हैं या धम्म को ठीक से देखते हैं तो हम समझ जाते हैं कि ये सब कंडीशंस के कारण आता है। ये मैं नहीं हूँ, मेरे नहीं है, मेरी आत्मा नहीं है। तो इस तरह से जब हम उसको इन्वेस्टिगेट करते हैं तो दुख मुक्ति की ओर आगे बढ़ते हैं। तो फिर रिपीट किया उन्होंने कि शरीर जो है वो बीमार हो सकता है, लेकिन मन जो है परिस्थितियों से ऊपर उठ सकता है। जो शरीर को अपनी बीमारी से ऊपर उठने की क्षमता शरीर में नहीं है। 5 खंडों को अगर हम मैं और मेरे के भाव से देखेंगे तो दुख निश्चित है, क्योंकि बेसिक अविद्या है और अंततः वो जाति पच्चा जरा मरणम शोक पर देव तक ले जाएगी हमको, प्रतिच्छ समुत्पाद की जो चेन है। कंडीशन माइंड की करेक्टरिस्टिक समझाई उन्होंने कि प्रसन्न है तो अगर प्लेजेंट परिस्थितियाँ हैं तो बहुत प्रसन्न है, अनप्लेजेंट परिस्थितियाँ हैं तो दुख ही दुख। बहुत एक लॉटरी खुल गई तो खुशी का कोई ठिकाना नहीं, और वो लॉटरी का पैसा फिर चोरी हो गया तो दुख का कोई ठिकाना नहीं। ऐसे मन का कोई भी शरण नहीं हो सकती जिसमें कि वो शांति से रह सके। हम सभी वास्तव में तृष्णा के गुलाम हैं, वो हमको ऑर्डर देती रहती है और हम उसके चुपचाप जैसा वो कहती है वैसे करते रहते हैं। तो ऐसी परिस्थिति में फिर दुख से बाहर निकलना बड़ा मुश्किल है। फिर वो उदाहरण दिए लोगों के कि कोई एक आया होगा, वो कहता कि वो मुझे इतना काम है, खेत में काम करना पड़ता है, गर्मी में काम करना पड़ता है, बहुत परेशानी है। अजान ने कहा होगा कि बहुत ज़्यादा परेशानी हो रही है तो छोड़ दो ना, आ जाओ इधर भिक्षु बन जाओ। तो कहना वो तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है, मुझे बहुत रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ है। फिर एक और उदाहरण दिया उन्होंने कि किसी से पूछा कैसे चल रहे हो, कैसे चल रहा है, क्या बताएं, कुछ नहीं चल रहा है, मैं तो बहुत मुसीबत में पड़ा हुआ हूँ। तो कहा कि अच्छा तो मोनेस्ट्री क्यों नहीं आते हो, फुर्सत कहाँ है मेरे पास, मैं निरंतरता से बिजी रहता हूँ घर की चीज़ें आवश्यकताएँ पूरी करने में। तो इस तरह का जो अनट्रेन्ड माइंड है, और जिस तरह भी हमको खींच के ले जाए हम उधर ही चले जाते हैं, सत्य की ओर आना बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है। पुराने ज़माने में फिर आगे बताने लगे कि जब किसी का दाह संस्कार होता था तो भिक्षुओं को बुलाया जाता था और वो चैंट करते थे अनिच्छावत संखारा उपाधवे धम्मिनो पज्जित्वा निरुज्जन्ते ते समो सुख। हम सब लोग जानते हैं इसको कि भाई सारे जो संखार हैं, जो संस्कारित चीज़ें हैं, ये शरीर भी संस्कारित चीज़ है, कंडीशन से बना है, वो सब बदलते रहते हैं और अंततः उनका क्षय हो जाएगा। और इन संस्कारों का उपशमन जो है वो बड़ा सुख का कारण है। मतलब अगर हम जो राग द्वेष है वो कम कर लें तो उससे बहुत सुख होगा। तो जब इस बात को ठीक से समझ जाते हैं कि शरीर अनित्य है, दुख का कारण है, दुख रूप है, उसका दुख स्वरूप है और मेरा नहीं है, तो अविद्या घटने लगती है। और अगर नहीं है, अविद्या बनी हुई है, तो उसी तरह से है कि जैसे कोई अंधा आदमी हमको रास्ता दिखा रहा हो चलने का, तो कोई गारंटी नहीं है कि हम सुरक्षा में रह पाएंगे। फिर चर्चा की उन्होंने कि किस तरह से हम कॉन्सेप्ट्स बनाते हैं। उन्होंने डिटर्मिनेशन शब्द इस्तेमाल किया कि कॉन्सेप्ट बनाते हैं और उन कॉन्सेप्ट्स को रियलिटी में बदल देते हैं, और इस कारण से किस तरह से परेशानी होती है। अभी जैसे नदी है वो भी एक कॉन्सेप्ट है, मनुष्य है वो भी कॉन्सेप्ट है, स्त्री है कॉन्सेप्ट, हर चीज़ हमने जो, क्योंकि उनका वास्तविक स्वरूप जो है, इनकी डीप रियलिटी को देखें तो इन रियलिटी तो उनमें कोई सार है ही नहीं, लेकिन कॉन्सेप्ट के रूप पे कह दिया कि ये पुरुष है, ये स्त्री है, ये हाथ है, ये पाँव है। जबकि हाथ निरंतर बदलता जा रहा है फिर भी वो हाथ ही रहता है, पाँव निरंतर बदलता जाता है फिर भी हम कहते हैं वो पाँव है। तो इस कारण से जो कन्वेंशनल समुच्चय सच है उसके कारण कई बार भ्रम होने का संभावना रहता है। तो इसलिए इस बात को हमको ठीक से समझना चाहिए, और जब ठीक से समझेंगे तो शांति हो मन महसूस करेंगे। मुख्य बात ये कि जो भी संसार के पदार्थ हैं उनमें कोई सार नहीं है, और जो हम उनको नाम दे देते हैं, ये कुर्सी है, ये टेबल है, वो सिर्फ नाम कन्वेंशनल रियलिटी के लिए है, एक प्रोविजनल ट्रुथ है। वास्तव में वहाँ पे कोई सार वाली एंटिटी नहीं है जो इंडिपेंडेंट हो और जिसका इंडिपेंडेंट एग्जिस्टेंस हो। तो जब हम बार बार चांट करते हैं अनित्यावत संखारा, तो हमको ये भी सोचना चाहिए कि कौन सी चीज़ है जो अनित्य नहीं है, जो पैदा होती है और समाप्त नहीं होती। ऐसा है क्या कुछ? हाँ, जो न पैदा हो न समाप्त हो, तो समझ में आएगा। तो जो पैदा होती हैं वो समाप्त होती हैं। उसका उदाहरण के रूप में मान लीजिए कोई बहुत ग्रीफ की कंडीशन आ गई है, एक पुरुष रो रहा है, कब तक रोता रहेगा? जा एक रात रोएगा, 2 रात रोएगा, बाद में तो उसको आंखें सूख ही जाएंगी। तो ये जो अहम का भाव है, मैं का भाव है, उसको शमन करना, उसको शांत करना सबसे बड़ा पुण्य का काम है। सबसे बड़ा पारमी वही बनता है, प्रज्ञावादी पारमी, और वो निर्वाण की तरफ हमको ले जाता है। फिर वही वो अनित्यावत संखारा को दोबारा उन्होंने एक्सप्लेन किया। ते समूह सुखों का एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया कि अगर जो उनके संखारों का शमन हो जाता है तो सुख मिलता है, क्योंकि जब तक वो नहीं होता तो जो हमारे अनुभव हैं उसमें स्वर्ग और नरक सब यहीं और निब्बान सब यहीं मिलता अनुभव हो जाते हैं मन के लेवल पे। और अगर हम सत्य को ठीक से समझ जाएं तो 4 आर्य सत्य समझ जाते हैं, तो दुख का अंत होना शुरू हो जाता है। फिर वो माइंड अटेंडिंग की बात दोबारा आ गई थी कि हमें किताबों में कई बार कहा जाता है कि पहाड़ और अन्य जो जड़ पदार्थ हैं वो माइंड अटेंडेड नहीं है, तो मैं पहले चर्चा कर चुके हैं। उसके बाद फिर उन्होंने उदाहरण दिया उस फेमस सूत्र का जिसमें भगवान हाथ में पत्ते लेकर भिक्षु से पूछते हैं कौन से पत्ते ज़्यादा हैं, तो स्पष्ट है वो कि वो हाथ में है या जो जंगल में है। तो सभी लोग कहते हैं कि आपके हाथ में जो है बहुत कम है। तो भगवान कहते हैं कि हाँ, मैंने यही इसी बात से आपको इतना ही समझाया है, जो मुझे ज्ञात है, जो मेरी नॉलेज है वो सारे पेड़ के पत्तों जितनी है। तो क्यों मैंने आपको कम ही समझाया है? क्योंकि यही महत्वपूर्ण बात है दुख के मुक्ति के लिए। बाकी चीज़ें तो जंगल की समान है, उनका कोई अंत ही नहीं है जानने के लिए। उनका कई बार लोग पूछते हैं धर्म कहाँ पे है, तो भाई धर्म जो है मन के अंदर ही है, और ये मन ही है जो बंधन में होता है और मन ही है जो मुक्त होता है। तो उसके लिए फिर उन्होंने शील की बात कही कि धर्म के मार्ग पर चलने के लिए ऑनेस्टी, इंटीग्रिटी होनी बहुत ज़रूरत है। त्रिपिटक का पढ़ना कुछ हद तक ठीक है, लेकिन हम उसको पढ़ के सब कुछ नहीं कर सकते। हमको बेसिकली तो अपने मन को पढ़ना है, अपने मन में क्या राग द्वेष मोह जाग रहे हैं, कैसे जाग रहे हैं वो समझना है। त्रिपिटक के प्रवचनों में भी ये सब बातें समझाई गई हैं, लेकिन एक्चुअली हमको ये करनी है, समझनी नहीं सिर्फ। तो बताने लगे कोई आए थे उनके पास पूछने की साधना कैसे करूँ, मैं तो बहुत बूढ़ा हूँ, कौन सा तरीका अडॉप्ट करूँ, यहाँ वाला वो, क्योंकि आजकल बहुत सारे टीचर्स हैं अलग अलग तरह से पढ़ाते हैं। तो अजान चाह ने कहा कि आपको इधर उधर जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। अगर आपको ट्रेन में जाना है या ट्रेन देखनी है तो जो सेंट्रल स्टेशन है बैंकॉक का, जहाँ सारी ट्रेन कन्वर्ज होती हैं, वहाँ जाकर देख लीजिए। हर एक शहर में जाकर ट्रेन देखने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है। तो इसी प्रकार से एक जो धर्म की बात है यही है कि हम अपने मन को ठीक से देखें और उसके जो मन में जो उपजता है उसके चंगुल में ना पड़े। और उसके फिर ग्रेजुएटेड पाथ है, एक तरीका है कि पहले शील का पालन करें, मन, वाणी और कर्म से, चिंतन से कोई गलत काम ना हो। तो अपना उदाहरण देने लगे कि जब मैं शुरू में भिक्षु बना था तो मैं बहुत चंचल था, एक जगह रुक नहीं सकता था, ज़्यादा एक से दूसरी जाता, क्योंकि जहाँ भी रुकता था मुझे वहाँ कोई ना कोई कमी नज़र आ जाती थी। फिर दूसरी जगह, फिर तीसरी जगह, था बहुत ऐसे घूमा। अंततः बात मुझे समझ में आ गई ये समझदारी की बात नहीं है, क्योंकि भगवान कहते हैं पश्चत्तंग वेदी तब्बो विन्यो ही, तो धर्म जो है हमारे भीतर ही देखना है, तो फिर मैं क्यों इधर उधर जा रहा हूँ। तो फिर मैंने अल्टीमेटली वो छोड़ दिया और फिर उसका लाभ हुआ। फिर एक उदाहरण दिया उन्होंने कांटे का, कि हम समझते कांटा बुरा है, ये मेरे को लगता है, लेकिन देखा जाए समझदारी से तो कांटा कांटा है, उसका अपना स्वभाव है। वो हमारे पाँव में नहीं घुसा था, हमने अपना पाँव उनके ऊपर रखा था, तो इसलिए कष्ट हुआ। और साधना के लिए कोई विशेष परिस्थिति, विशेष सुविधा बनाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। कहीं जहाँ भी परिस्थिति है, जहाँ भी किसी तरह का दुख का अनुभव होता है, वहीं पे साधना की जा सकती है। तो अगर इन्वेस्टिगेट नहीं करेंगे तो बात को समझ नहीं आएंगे, इसलिए इन्वेस्टिगेट करना परिस्थितियों को बहुत ज़रूरी है। जब कर्म के फल के रूप में दुख आता है तो हम परेशान हो जाते हैं, मुझे ही क्यों हो रहा है। तो इन्वेस्टिगेट करके देखिए ना कि क्यों हो रहा है ये सब, कहाँ पे बंधन है, और ठीक से इन्वेस्टिगेट करेंगे तो सब मालूम पड़ जाएगा। और उसके लिए इन्वेस्टिगेट करने के लिए एक पर्टिकुलर पॉस्चर की ज़रूरत नहीं है, हर परिस्थिति में राउंड द क्लॉक हम इन्वेस्टिगेट कर सकते हैं। फिर शील का महत्व बताते हुए वो चैंटिंग की, शीलेन सुगति यान्ति भोग, शीलेन भोग संपदा, शील तस्मा शीलेन विशोदय, शीलेन निबंति यान्ति। तो उन्होंने बताया शील का कितना महत्व है कर्म सिद्धांत को समझाने के लिए, कि जैसे कर्म करेंगे वैसे अच्छे कर्म करेंगे तो अच्छा ही फल आएगा। ये विश्वास करना है कोई देवी देवता हमारे भला कर देंगे, चलो उनकी पूजा अर्चना कर दो, ये उचित बात नहीं है। जहाँ पे भी दुख आता है वहीं पे उसको इन्वेस्टिगेट करना है। जैसे कि दुख समझ लीजिए हमारी खुशी खो गई, तो उन्होंने उदाहरण दिया कि मान लीजिए किसी का कोई चीज़ खो जाती है, किसी सड़क पे जा रहा है खो गई, तो जहाँ खोई है वहीं उसको ढूंढना पड़ेगा, ये नहीं कहीं और जाके ढूंढना शुरू कर दे। फिर एक और वहाँ की मान्यता बताई कि आजकल अधिकतर लोग ये मानते हैं कि हम देव हैं जो हमारे नोटबुक में हमारा हिसाब रखते हैं, हमने कितने गलत काम किए, कितने ठीक काम किए। तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। हम ये तभी ये इस तरह की बातें सोचते हैं जब हम चोरी छिपे गलत काम करते हैं और चाहते हैं कोई हमारे काम को ना देखे, और ये भूल जाते हैं कि हम तो देख रहे हैं कि हम इंसान नहीं है जो हम देख रहे हैं कि हम गलत काम कर रहे हैं। तो कोई देखे चाहे ना देखे, हम तो हमेशा देख रहे हैं अपने कर्मों को, तो इसलिए हम गलत कर्म करके छूट नहीं सकते, और इसलिए प्रेरित होते हैं कि अच्छे ही कर्म करें। जैसे कई परंपराओं में कोई आता है पूजा कर देता है और कुछ धागा बांध देता है कि चलो तुम्हारा मंगल होगा, कल बीमारी ठीक हो जाएगी। इस तरह की बातों पर विश्वास नहीं करना चाहिए। मुख्य बात यह कि बीमारी है, उसका कारण है, उसका कारण का निवारण है तो ठीक होगी। बगैर दवा खाए, बगैर कारण जाने ठीक नहीं होगी। कोई और हमको दुख से मुक्त कर देगा, ये भावना ठीक नहीं है। और फिर अपने से बड़े हैं जैसे साधना कर रहे हैं तुम सोचो बिल्कुल वैसे ही करनी है, वो भी ठीक नहीं है। बगैर समझे कोई कैसे साधना कर रहा है और वो क्या मेरे लिए उपयुक्त है, उसको इन्वेस्टिगेट करके समझने के बाद ही एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए। फिर उन्होंने उदाहरण दिया सारिपुत्र का कि भगवान प्रवचन दे रहे थे तो उन्होंने सारिपुत्र से पूछा, हाँ सारिपुत्र तुम ये विश्वास कर रहे हो इस बात पे? तो सारिपुत्र ने कहा नहीं बनते, अभी तो नहीं, अभी तक तो इसको मैं एक्सेप्ट नहीं करता हूँ। मतलब यही है कि आगे इन्वेस्टिगेट करूँगा फिर समझ जाऊँगा। अगर कोई आजकल का टीचर होता तो पता नहीं कितना नाराज़ हो जाता है, तो मेरी बात पे विश्वास नहीं करते हो। अंत में फिर वही बात आई कि हमारा बेसिक उद्देश्य ये है कि मन को ट्रेन करना है, मन को जानना है। जितना जानेंगे मन को, और जितनी जो रियलिटी है और जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं उनको आपस में भेद रखना है, वो भेद समझना है। और साधना का एक माध्यम उन्होंने कहा है कि जो 5 खंड हैं उनके बारे में इन्वेस्टिगेट करना चाहिए कि ये मैं नहीं हूँ, मेरा नहीं है। तो और जो पहला फैटर है संयोजन सक्काय दिट्ठी का, वो इसी तरह के कंटेम्पलेशन से वो मुक्ति मिलती है उससे। बाद में उन्होंने कहा कि भाई मैंने आपको रास्ते के शुरुआत तक ले आया है, समझा दिया सब, आगे चलना आपका काम है। किताब में करुणा ब्रह्मविहार का अभ्यास करते हैं। तो जो हम चैंटिंग करते हैं आटानाटी सूत्र के पार्ट की, उससे शुरू करेंगे। शुभकामना सबके प्रति कि वो अपने दुख से मुक्त हों, रोगों से मुक्त हों जो रोगी हैं। करुणा का वही तात्पर्य कि जो दुखी हैं उनके दुख दूर करने की प्रयास करना, किसी भी तरह का शारीरिक दुख, मानसिक दुख जैसा भी हो। और फिजिकली अब हम ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं कर पाते, कुछ दान कर दिए, कुछ फाइनेंशियल सहायता कर पाते हैं, क्योंकि हम सब खुद ही बंधे हुए हैं परिस्थितियों से। तो एटलीस्ट मन से शुभकामना कर सकते हैं, अपने पुण्य डेडिकेट कर सकते हैं। तो वही सब हम करेंगे। वचसा मनसा चैव वन्दामि ते तथागते शयने आसने ठाने गमने चापि सर्वदा सदा सुखेन रक्षन्तु बुद्धा सन्ति करातुअं देहि त्वं रक्षितो सन्तो मुक्तो सर्वभयेन च सर्वरोगविनिमुक्तो सर्वसन्तापवर्जितो सर्ववैरमतिकन्तो निवृत्तो च त्वं भव तेषां सच्चेन शीलेन कान्ति मेत्ता बलेन च तेऽपि तुम्हें अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च। अब महानिधि वाले देवलोकों देवताओं के प्रति यही भाव कि वो भी सहायता करें सबकी दुखियों के दुख दूर करने में। रथिमस्मिन् दिशा भागे सन्ति भूता महिद्दिका तेऽपि तुम्हें अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च। दक्षिणस्मिन् दिशा भागे सन्ति देवा महिद्दिका तेऽपि तुम्हें अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च। पश्चिमस्मिन् दिशा भागे सन्ति नागा महिद्दिका तेऽपि तुम्हें अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च। उत्तरस्मिन् दिशा भागे सन्ति यक्षा महिद्दिका तेऽपि तुम्हें अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च। अभी लोकपालों के प्रति ये भाव, पुरं दिशं दतरट्टो दक्षिणेन विरुल्लको पश्चिमेन विरूपको कुबेरोत्तरं दिशं चत्तारो ते महाराजा लोकपालाय सस्सिनो ते पितुमे अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च आकाशट्टा च भूमट्टा देवानागा महिन्दिका ते पितुमे अनुरक्षन्तु आरोग्येन सुखेन च। अब इन करुणा के भावों को सब दिशाओं में व्याप्त करेंगे। करुणा ब्रह्म विहार का अभ्यास करते समय ये भी हमारे मन में ध्यान रहे कि दुख मुक्ति का जो साधन है, साइकोलॉजिकल सफरिंग जो है, मानसिक दुख जो है, उसके लिए 4 आर्य सत्य को ठीक से समझना, क्योंकि जितना जितना उनको ठीक से समझेंगे उतना उतना दुख मुक्ति की ओर बढ़ते जाएंगे। तो अपने लिए और सभी के लिए जिनके लिए हम करुणा का भाव रखते हैं, ये साथ में भाव रहे कि हम सब 4 आर्य सत्यों को ठीक से समझ पाएं, दुख के कारण को ठीक से समझ पाएं, ताकि उसका कारण का निवारण कर सकें और दुख मुक्ति का अनुभव कर सकें। करुणा सहगतेन चेतसा एकं दिशं परित्वा विहरति तथा द्वितीयं तथा तृतीयं तथा चतुर्थं इति उद्धं अधो तिर्यं सब्बदि सब्बत्तताय सब्भावन्तं लोकं करुणा सहगतेन चेतसा विपुलेन महगतेन अपमानेन अवेरेन अव्यापज्येन परित्वा विहरति। तो ये भगवान की जो वाणी है, इसके अनुसार 10 दिशाओं में विपुल महान असीम करुणा से भरा हुआ चित्त और वैसे ही तरंगे शरीर से, तो हर दिशा में हर दिशा को उनसे व्याप्त करने का थोड़ा अभ्यास करते हैं। अर्थात हर दिशा में जो जो हमारे जानकार हैं उनका ध्यान करके कि उन सब के दुख दूर हो, और जो भी अनजान है, बहुत लाखों अब तो करोड़ों की स्थिति पहुंच गई सारे विश्व में बीमार लोगों की, तो अनजान लोगों के प्रति भी बगैर किसी द्वेष, बगैर किसी वैर भाव के, बगैर किसी भेदभाव के सबके प्रति वही भाव, अपने प्रति भी वही भाव कि सबके दुख दूर हो। जो रोगी हैं उनके रोग दूर हो, जो भयाकुल है उनका भय दूर हो। vivajjantu sobe sabitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinitatu te bhavatu antarayo sukhi digayuko bhavat sukhi digayuko bhavat sukhi digayuko bhavat. Sabbe satta sukhi hoantu sabbe hoantu chakemino sabbe bhadrani passantu ma kinchi papamagama ma kinchi sokamagama ma kinchi dukkhamagama. Bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Arhan Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhaṃ Bhagavantaṃ Abhivādemi Sākhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammaṃ Namassāmi Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghaṃ Namāmi.